Hey, my name is Neil, and I was able to bootstrap an agency to 7 figures in ARR, as well as scale a coaching and consulting offer past 7 figures as well. And I have to say, Facebook groups were a big reason that we were able to achieve that level of scale. And in this video, not only do I want to show you the inner workings of our groups, but I also want to show you how you can build your own high-level Facebook groups that you can use to generate leads, nurture your audience, and then ultimately get more clients. But before we dive in, if you are interested in business strategy, marketing systems, and client acquisition strategies, please consider subscribing to this channel. Now, Facebook groups are a fantastic way to get clients. However, they have to be set up and managed in a very specific way. Otherwise, these two things will happen. The first is if you don't set up your Facebook group correctly, they won't be discoverable, meaning that they won't grow. The other is if you don't manage your group correctly, the groups will become cluttered with spam and the engagement of the group will go down the drain. And the reason we want both growth and engagement is because we're going to be using Facebook groups as both top of funnel marketing as well as middle of funnel marketing. And in the best case scenarios, our goal will be to try and engage in as many sales conversations right from the beginning when someone joins and finds the group. However, this is not always going to be the case. And that's because most people joining won't really know who you are or what the group is about. They will need time to build trust with you and your brand, as well as see you as a leading authority in whatever niche you serve. With that said, let's talk about the setup portion of your groups. And the first thing that you're going to need to decide is what you'll be naming your Facebook groups. And you don't have to overcomplicate this, just keep it simple and discoverable. If you're totally stuck, use this following framework. Just name the group after something that you do and who you do it for. So for us at the agency, we did YouTube ads for coaches and consultants. So that's exactly what we named the group. So if you're somebody that does, say, lead generation for insurance brokers, well then name the group Leads for Insurance Brokers. Next up, let's talk about the settings of the group. And the best way for me to probably show this is to jump on my computer. So let's go ahead and do that. We're now inside one of my big groups. And if you already have a group set up, all you're going to need to do is go down to the group settings in the left navigation. And that way you'll be able to see all of the different settings. So the first thing that we need to decide is whether we want the group private or public. I highly recommend private. That way you can really filter in who comes into the group and then keep the quality of the members incredibly high. However, in order to make the group discoverable, you will still need to make it visible. Next, I recommend going down into your tags and then picking the ones that most apply to your business. All right, so with all the other settings, I'm going to leave that totally up to you. Use your best judgment. Pick your own brand colors, your badges, group affiliation, all that fun stuff. The next thing that I want you to do is look at the manage membership section. And what I've found for the best level of engagement is that we only allow profiles into our group, no pages, right? Because I feel like pages, once they get inside the group, they don't engage as much, and then it automatically affects the entire group's engagement. And then who can approve new members? I say only admins and moderators, and then nobody is pre-approved to join. If you have people on your team that you want to pre-approve, definitely turn this on. Next, let's talk about posting settings. And this is probably the most important thing when it comes to managing a group and probably the reason why our groups are so effective at getting clients. And the biggest thing that we do is not allow for other members to post in the group. We found that for the most part, when members post, their questions, comments, and posts only reach out to a small section of your group's audience. In order to avoid that, we are the only people that will be posting in our groups. So in terms of the settings, I don't allow anonymous postings. Who can post in the group? At this stage, I have anyone in the group. However, I do require post approval. That means only posts that are approved by admins or moderators will be posted within the group. Again, we allow people to submit posts and we then filter them. If it's a post that we think will benefit the entirety of the group, then we will allow that post. However, if it's a, let's say, beginner question, if you allow that sort of post, it will only reach out to beginners and then isolate the rest of your group. And that's the same thing with creating chats. However, we do allow everyone to comment because we do want that engagement. We want the discussion that happens within the group. However, we want to be the ones that are facilitating those discussions and leading conversations in the group. Hey, really quickly, I just wanted to take a second to talk about something that I'm currently working on. I'm thinking of putting together a community of people who are just like me, who are obsessed with business growth, client acquisition systems, and marketing strategy. If that sounds like you, you and you're interested, check the top link in the description down below to be notified of when it launches. The next thing we need to take care of when setting up Facebook groups is going to be rules. And I recommend that you be very strict with setting them up and be very vigilant in enforcing them. So for us, with all of our groups, we almost always include the same set of rules. The first is going to be no spam and no self-promotion. So this is going to get rid of a lot of that clutter that comes into Facebook groups. The next one is going to be just be nice and not be negative. And the third, and this is probably one of the ones that you can kind of test out for yourself, is requiring a level of engagement. If people aren't engaging in our group, we let them know that we'll be removing them. All right, next up, let's talk about the all-important membership questions. And these are so critical because this is how you gate your Facebook group. And our philosophy with membership questions is that we want to use them to qualify everyone that comes in to make sure that we have a certain standard of people that are in our Facebook group. Additionally, we also want to qualify the people to make sure that they would be actually qualified for the products and services that we provide. And again, the membership questions help us do that. So one of the ways that we do that is in this scenario is just simply asking where they are in their current business with relationships to YouTube ads. This is a great way for us to figure out if they're qualified for any of our high-tiered services. Now, we do have low-ticket products, so we do allow certain people. The other thing that we do is almost always get an email address. The reason for this is, one, we can send people free resources. Like I said, with your Facebook groups, nobody's going to buy from you unless they trust you, they get to know you, and they see you as a leading authority. Getting an email, one, not only allows us to contact them on a different platform, because you can never always rely on just Facebook and Facebook's algorithm of getting your content out. Two, it allows us to send resources based on where they are in their business journey. So if they're beginners, we'll send them resources that are meant for beginners. If they're people that are more qualified, that could be another avenue for us to start a sales conversation in. And then third, finally, we just straight up ask people, hey, listen, we've been helping people with our things. Would you be interested in learning about our paid products and services? You'll be surprised. A lot of times people will say, please send me a message privately, and that's what we do. You can really tailor your group questions in almost 1,000 different ways. However, what I recommend is for sure get a email or another piece of contact, so a social media handle or something like that. Two, highly qualify everyone that comes in. And then three, see if they're already off the bat ready for your products or services. With the group settings covered, let's now talk about the welcome post, because this is probably going to be the first thing a new member sees inside of your group. And this is a great way for you to build some of that trust and authority with that person first joining, as well as tell them how to use and engage within the group. So this is an example of what we do. We basically say, hey, this is exactly what you can expect inside the group. So we give case studies, free trainings, and then we answer your questions, right? We also say, if you replied yes to receiving a custom message, please be on the lookout for somebody. So Sol, she's my group moderator. She messages people and lets people in. So it's we're just letting them know. It could be in your message request. And then what we do is also tell them about our other assets. So right here, we have our YouTube channel. So we say, hey, this is another touch point for you to get associated with our brand, figure out what we do. So if you have, any case studies, any lead magnets, this is where you would put them. And then periodically, Sol, my group manager, she will go in there and tag all new group members. As you can see, they've been doing this for a while. So every week or so, new members come in, and we want to make sure that they're actually engaged with this welcome post. And this is something that you can set up yourself. Awesome. So we've covered how to set up a Facebook group. Now, you might be wondering, how do I grow it? Well, one of the best ways to grow it is going to be through your Facebook profile. And you have to set your Facebook profile up in a certain way so that it attracts people that are actually going to be interested in your products and service, not your high school profile. So one of the first few things that you need to do is have a professional profile photo, as well as in your bio, let people know exactly what you do, as well as let them know about your free group. So if we scroll down to my bio, you can see that I'm the CEO at Links Digital, which is my agency. We have links to my agency's website, as well as some of my socials. And then you can see when you come into my page, you can see all of the content that I have is actually business related or related to my niche, right? So just published a YouTube ads masterclass, people, right? So there's not a lot of super personal stuff, not a lot of random stuff. It's all designed as a top of funnel mechanism. And then obviously the big thing is going to be free YouTube ads group. And then there's going to be a link here. The best way for you to grow your group is going to be actually to go into other people's group, figure out members that have stuff in common, add them as friends, and then invite them into your group. So let me show you an example of how this looks like in practice. So let's say we're back to promoting our YouTube ad buyers group. So I might find a Facebook group that's a little bit similar to what I'm promoting. So one of the services that complements YouTube ads is going to be TikTok ads. So I'm going to find TikTok ads groups or related groups. So let's see, this one is good. And then inside here, I'm going to go into people that are related. They're kind of looking for help in the same thing. And I'm going to go down and see if I can post something of value, add people as friends, and then obviously invite them to my group. And the best way for you to invite all of these new friends is actually to go into your group, click the invite Facebook friends, and then all you can do is click groups and comment and then put in that group that you were just in. So for us, it was TikTok ad strategy. So in here, I'm going to invite, and I have a lot of people that are already part of both groups, but people that I think might get value from my group, right? So all I'm going to do is just send invites. And these people, again, just because they're invited doesn't mean they're going to be let in, because they still have to answer your qualification questions. And I do want to mention that you don't have to do this strategy forever. You probably just only need to do it for the first couple of hundred people just to get your group off the ground. And the reason for this is because once your group is off the ground, Facebook is going to start recommending the group automatically to people it thinks might be interested in it. We've gotten to the point where you have set up the Facebook group and then now gotten people in it. How do you engage with them? And then more importantly, how do you get those group members to turn into clients? Which now brings us into content strategy. And unfortunately, there isn't a one-size-fits-all solution to this, because every single community, every single niche is going to be different. And the type of content that does well in one may not translate to the other. So what I recommend is that you try out a bunch of different type of content and formats. So long form post, short form post, photos, videos, polls, Q&As, just about anything that you can think of and see from other successful Facebook groups, and implement it into your own group. And then see, what does your audience resonate to the most? I do, however, recommend that you always lead with value first. Make sure that the things that you're posting into your groups are valuable. And more importantly, that they're valuable to the entirety of your group, not just a segment. So with that, I want to give you guys a couple of examples of posts that do really well for us. So the first one is going to be long form strategy. So right here, we're teaching people how to structure campaigns. Next up is going to be another tutorial for high ticket offers specifically with YouTube. Then we're promoting one of our internal courses. Next up, we've let in one of the questions from a group member. As you can see, the post reach is very low because, again, this is a very specific question just meant for a very specific subsegment of people, right? Not everyone's going to be super interested in this. Again, this one is just a, hey, thank you for getting us to this milestone. What I will also show you guys is the secret tactic of getting high engagement in your post. So I made this post just a couple days ago, which is what I call an engagement bait post. So this is a piece of free content that is super valuable that I will give to my group. However, in order for somebody to get access to it, they have to comment on the group, right? So I just said, hey, if you want access to my $3.47 million YouTube ads framework, you just have to comment. And these type of posts do really, really well in terms of getting engagement. Obviously, you're forcing people to comment. So Facebook thinks, hey, this is a very high engaging, trending post. I'm going to push it out to the rest of the group members as well. And what you do with this is whenever somebody comments, you then privately message them and then deliver this piece of value. And that's an opportunity for you to open up a sales conversation. And if you would like to learn more about how to generate those sales conversations and guide them and get people to start booking calls and buying your products and services, subscribe to this channel because I have a whole masterclass coming out about Facebook outreach. With that, I'll see you in the next one.